All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the halfway mark of the NASCAR 08 Busch Series season, and here tonight we are at the Craftsman Speedway for the running of the Craftsman 250 in the NASCAR Busch Series. 250 laps on this half-mile short track, and that's the thumbnail. It's kind of like Pocono, but in a small short track form, tight confines, 3 separate turns on this racetrack. We got a half-mile in length. We're getting set to start this thing from the rear of the field with no practice, no qualifying. Someone just flipped right there. I don't know what just happened, but I saw that guy rolling over in turn 3. We may see that. We may see much more. Stay tuned for this one. I think it's going to be an interesting race, to say the least. We did dominate the 2 truck races we've already ran here on that season, but as far as the Busch Series, the first turn at the racetrack. The game is loud. The menu music was loud, at least. Race audio will be A-OK. All right. Just log jam as soon as we're getting up to speed. Should have expected that was going to happen. You can tell it's been a few days since I played this game. First time since last Thursday. 5 days off of the gaming side of things on the channel. And I almost wrecked. Yep, I did wreck. Oh, boy. Lap 1, turn 2. Did I get hit from behind first, or... I need to see this replay. I moved up a little bit, I believe. Car definitely felt tighter going through turn 2 than I expected. We were 3 wide also. I didn't realize we were 3 wide. This angle's not going to do much for us. Yeah, we were 3 wide when I was down on the apron. I had no clue. Well, we're going to the rear of the field, but that's only a loss of a couple positions. So, all in all, it's really not that bad. I did burn the tires a little bit, unfortunately, with that opening lap spin. And we do have to keep those on. Yeah, first caution. But he said he's going to the Red Wings and Avs game tonight. That's pretty cool. Is he from Colorado? White building is the TV booth? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'll have to take a gander at it. That building right there? I don't pay too much attention to the outside of the racetrack. I didn't even notice that was there until just now. I remember the city being in the background. Off of turn 3 from the last time we raced here. Oh, boy. That's some pretty big contact. We're probably going to get a debris caution off of that. We were not going that fast. I'm surprised that much damage ended up happening with that contact. I've got quite a bit of damage to the nose of my car, too. I'm hoping his debris falls off first so we can pit, repair our damage. And I could actually take 4 fresh tires in this circumstance because the caution won't be for me, assuming it's the back bumper of David Reagan that comes off first. But yeah, this has been a lousy start to the race here for Martin Truex Jr. Just trying to get things going. This is the product of starting at the back of the pack on this racetrack in particular, not just a short track, but I was willing to be more patient on that restart than I was the initial start just because of what happened with the stack up right away on lap 1. To kick things off, they're about to be 4 wide into turn 2. That was not going to work. They're definitely not holding a steady line. No matter how many positions here that I pick up, I'm going to have to pit. I do feel the car's a little too tight. I'm going to have to free it up. See my hood flapping. It's just a We're wondering if my hood's going to come off before the back bumper of David Reagan's car. I'm surprised we haven't had a debris caution for either one of us. It's got to be because the speeds are... Well, okay, there we go. Now, I'm pretty sure that was him because the hood's still intact on our car, and so is our front bumper. Yep. So David Reagan brings out the yellow. We're going to pit for tires. We're going to make some adjustments. This car is definitely way too tight. I don't know how much of it is the damage. I do feel like I got tight in turn 2 before I actually had contact, which started the first incident. The 2 yellows. Early going of tonight's race. Long ways to go. We'll get some green flag racing here at some point. That should be the only debris caution off of David Reagan. There's nobody else that was involved. We're going to pit. Repair as much damage as we can. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Billy Kramer, Wade, welcome, 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 everybody. You're going to top off on fuel while we're down here as well. It's going to take a half a round to wedge out to see what that does. If I have to make another adjustment later, I will. I would imagine it's only going to be a one-stop race for fuel. 250 laps on a half-mile short track. We ran a half-mile short track at Toyota Raceway in the last race, and that was 300 laps, and that was one stop. So this should be an easy one-stopper. 2 for us, at least, which we've got plenty of sets of tires here. We still have 3 more sets left after the set we're putting on. So if we have to do this again, I will. No problem burning one early. It'd be different if it was a longer race on a mile and a half or something, but won't have to worry about it here. How am I in the lead? That had to have been a glitch. I'll take it. We got fresh tires and the lead. Nobody else pitted with us. How did that happen? And why were we double file like it was the initial start of the race? I haven't seen that before. That's the first time ever, I think. Oof. I think I'm just pushing too hard through turn 2. Truck series, I can go full throttle through there. I don't think I can in these Busch cars. Start backing it up a little more. Well, clean air will make this thing handle better, I'll tell you that much. Man, we've got the fresh tires and the lead. It's like it's Christmas. We were the only ones on pit road. We should be in last, instead we're first. This is crazy. We're still on lap 18, though. There's a way that this thing can go completely wayside. Especially if we get into lap traffic. There's going to be some drivers blowing engines, causing accidents throughout the course of the race. We always have that whenever we're at this track. Not just in NASCAR 08. That was like that in the earlier EA games we played on the channel also. I'm still a little too tight. Is that Hornish in second behind us? Looks like it. But I can't tell for sure. Seems like it's the Mobile One sponsor on the hood. Yeah, it is. Okay. Thought I saw that right. So Paul Menard, who was leading the early laps of this race, obviously not in the lead anymore. It's so weird that it was a double file restart, too, because clearly there was no lap traffic yet. So strange. As long as I don't lose the lead on another restart later. Because I stay out and everybody else pits. That would suck. So that would be on old tires and at the back. In the event that that would happen. Yeah, getting up off of turn 2, I've scraped the wall twice already. That's where I had my incident earlier, too. Well, strategy side of things, we're on the right side of it now. I mean, I was wondering how I was going to get through the traffic, honestly. So hard to pass here. And my car wasn't handling the greatest. It's still not handling the greatest, but we can make up for it up here. I mean, it's clearly quick because we're putting distance over second place on back. But there's definitely still some time to be gained. Ethan, welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, that was definitely a glitch. Ruben Topple, welcome to the stream. I'm doing A-okay, doing fine. Welcome to the screen. Well, I haven't done that yet. I didn't scream, but I kind of yelled a little bit. I hit my knee on the edge of my desk when I went to sit down. That didn't feel very good. It's like probably 2 to 3 minutes right before I hit play on stream. Not a good start to me get. You know you're getting old when you get hurt when you try to sit down. What is that? My seat was too far away or too close to the desk, I guess. Got myself good. Good thing I was wearing pants. Probably would have hurt even worse if I was wearing shorts. Caught it right on the corner. That's why it hurt so bad. Must be more aware of my surroundings. So as far as the Coke 600 Cup race, and I know I've put it back for the last couple of weeks on the channel, we haven't been able to do it on Fridays because of the truck races, for one. And then as far as the Mondays go, I just haven't had enough time to do a Coke 600 race, knowing that race is going to be longer. I want to try to get it done at the same start time, so I have to start it earlier. And I just haven't had anything ready and prepped enough in time for the stream, was setting everything up for during the week. I don't know exactly when we're going to do that. We're probably going to have just the Busch and Truck series for a while on the channel. I've been working a lot of overtime lately too, in the prep for the Talladega trip at the end of next month. It'll be the Dega Texas duo back-to-back weekends there. So putting a lot back for that. And I have to actually get the brakes changed on my car before I make that trip as well. Got a concert I'm going to earlier that week. So I got a lot planned for that week in particular that I've been working a lot for that reason, putting back. So at some point we will get back to the Cup Series on NASCAR 08 when I have time and I'm not, working. When I come back from that vacation, it would be technically the first week of May, if I'm not... No, I'd have to look at the calendar again. Somewhere around then, we'll have more NASCAR 08 Cup Series action when we get to that point, but just wanted to give you an update on that, and that's why we haven't seen a Cup race on the channel in a minute with this game. Obviously, we'll get back to it at some point. It just sucks that the longest race of the season's next. I just haven't had a good time to try to fit that in anywhere. Catching our first lap car of the event, lap 39. We've had 2 yellows so far in the early going of this race. As far as the streaming side of things go, when I'm gone, obviously I'll try to do as much of the live commentary streams as I can for the races I'm not attending. I'll be at the Cup races for sure, but any races I'm not at, Truck Xfinity-wise, for those 2 weekends, I will have live commentary for. Obviously, it wouldn't be from here. It would be from, the hotel I'm staying in if it's the Dega situation. I'm not sure exactly what races I will be going to when I'm at Dega. There's a possibility I'll be at the Xfinity race that day, but I'm not 100% sure. I will be doing commentary for ARCA, and it's just going to be dependent on exactly how close to the track I'm staying and can I get to the track after ARCA before Xfinity. I'm not going to get my tickets until right before. Obviously, I won't have to worry about that race selling out in particular with the Xfinity series, so I can literally buy a ticket on Ticketmaster at the last second if I wanted to. So it's going to be a judgment call on my part as to, if ARCA goes long, I'm probably not going to go. If the ARCA series, for whatever reason, doesn't have a lot of yellows and it flows by quickly and it gives me an extra hour and a half to 2 hours to get there, then obviously I'll only be within a half hour, 20 minutes, but I know traffic's going to be kind of tight when you get there that close to the start of a race. But I obviously know how to get there. I've been there several times. I think it'll be the 5th time at Dega then this year. Monday night. I can't do it on Monday nights. I know I'm not working on Monday, but I work the following day. And I have to get up at 4:45 in the morning, so I can't just stream into the night like that. I mean, I did it for the truck race, and that was a one-time only deal a couple weeks ago with the live commentary stream. That didn't get over till 12:45 in the morning. So that Coke 600 is going to take 3.5 hours plus at least. Let's pass that 41 car. It looked like he had quite a bit of damage to the nose. Reed Sorensen. Yeah, that's the idea. I would like to start it at 5 Eastern if I can. But I'm also going to be working on Mondays now going forward. So I'm going to be working almost every day for the next 3 weeks. Unless there's a day that I just get super gassed, I guess, from the day before, that I'm not going to sign up. But I want to make sure that this trip is 100% happening. And I don't know exactly how expensive it's going to be to replace my brakes, but I know that's going to cost me quite a bit. It's the price you pay of having a nice car, I guess. Everything's going to be more expensive when you have to fix it. They're not bad, but to take a long trip like that, I'm definitely going to need to get them replaced. Not the whole thing, but the front braking's fine. I should just need brake pads for that, but I am thinking that I might need calipers on the rears. Because it's not grinding at this moment, but it's definitely a softer pedal. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep the NASCAR weight stuff obviously going, until that trip. Then when that trip ends up happening, outside of the live commentary streams, there's probably not going to be a lot of streaming on the channel for a couple weeks. Just because I'm going to be gone. Going to be visiting people. It's a vacation. Mid-season. But we'll keep the weekend NASCAR stuff going. Some facet. Obviously, race highlights from the grandstands. During the week coverage, it's going to be a lack thereof. Fantasy for Truck and Xfinity. That's a lot. I don't think they get enough people that watch I mean, I'm sure people would do that, but to watch every week and keep up with that every week on top of Cup, it would be a lot. Because, I mean, there's a lot of people, and even I've done it before, where I'll forget my lineup on like a Sunday morning or something just because I get wrapped up and busy doing stuff. And couldn't imagine if you had to do that 3 days out of the weekend every weekend. You definitely forget a few in there. I mean, at the worst, it saves your lineup from the week before, but then you use guys that you probably wouldn't have wanted to use, and it burns an extra usage out of them. It's kind of a lose-lose situation. And you don't get your head-to-head picks if you forget your lineup, because that always changes week to week. So it's a lose-lose-lose situation. Oof. After the Rocky... No, I'm not doing that. I got WrestleMania that weekend. Saturday, Sunday. I'll be busy those nights anyway. Two-and-a-half second lead. We've lapped quite a few cars. I mean, I'd like to. I don't know. It just depends. I'm going to keep it off the streaming schedule until then. I think what I'm going to end up doing is if I have like an off day where I'm not streaming, I'll leave it open to where if I have the time to do that, that's where I'll throw it in. But I don't want to schedule it and then have to cancel it. That guy, I mean, I did close in on him late, but I was also expecting him to go a lot wider off exit into the corner. He basically ran the bottom when they got up off the exit of turn 3. That's okay. Not the first bit of contact we've had. Consider we're only on lap 61 of 250. Not the last bit of contact. Got no idea anymore. Yeah, I'll just get it in. I mean, I know my schedule. I just know it's a long race, so it's just hard to find the time. I mean, even, for instance, like tonight, I get off of work, and I actually worked out this morning, so I didn't have to work out when I got home or try to cram it in. If I don't get a workout in when I get home before the stream, then I make sure I do it after. And then by that time I eat, I go to bed, and I rinse and repeat. So I am cramming these streams in Tuesdays through Thursdays. Basically any time that I would have to myself for the day. Lounge around, whatever that might be. I'm doing this for the hour and a half to 2 hours. Like, this is my lounging around for the night. Like that I scraped that inside wall, but it was so subtle that I was still able to make the pass and lap David Stremme. Oh, he crossed me over. I didn't see him until the last second. I almost turned myself. I don't want to give up this lead by spinning out and having to go to the rear. Rear of whoever's on the lead lap. Haven't been able to look up at the leaderboard to see exactly how many cars are in the lead lap. I am going to have to try to do what I can to leave Mondays open. The reason why I have the Mondays open is for rainouts for NASCAR. And there's a 60% chance of rain on Sunday for the Cup Series. So I'll be working that Sunday morning. I'm going to be kind of hesitating whether or not I'm going to end up going in on Monday. Because I don't know what time they're going to start the race. I mean, there's been times that they'll start it at 11 o'clock in the morning. I think they did Daytona the one year at like 10:30 in the morning. Not last year. Whenever the last time they rained out. Was that 22? the summer race? They get so much rain in Daytona, it's hard to keep track anymore. I think it was 2022. Yeah, because that was the one Austin Dillon won. Because they had another rain caution in the late going. But they started it at like 10:30 in the morning. Eastern time. On the East. They basically just do whatever the TV partners have the window to put it in on top of, when can they get the race in. Because in that event, there was rain again on Monday, which is why they started it as early as they did. Trying to avoid any afternoon showers. And I do think there's a chance of rain on Monday at Martinsville Speedway as well. It's not as high as Sunday, but it's like 40%. I was just looking at the weather earlier this morning for over there, so it is threatening. Friday and Saturday should be good, though. Truck race, Xfinity race, Cup practice, qualifying, that should go on without a hitch. It's just Sunday that looks iffy for NASCAR this weekend. I used to work on weekends. I do not like that. You see, the problem is if I worked on the weekends, Wade, I'd be working all day. I wouldn't get off till 6 o'clock. There would be zero chance of any live commentary streams. I was doing that on Friday and Saturday. The first year I did the live commentary streams, which wasn't last year, it was the year before that, but that's why I only did Cup Series races, because I was working on Fridays and Saturdays, and then I worked a couple days during the week to make up for Sunday and not working there, because I basically had a makeshift schedule. Because technically I was supposed to work every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then I'd pick up a shift during the week, but I picked up an extra shift during the week instead to make up the hours for missing on Sunday. They were okay with me doing that, at least during the season. Then I was working on the Sundays during the weekend, or during the off season for a few months, but I did that for the first 2 years I worked there. But the first year I worked there, I wasn't really doing anything on the channel. I was gaming here and there. It wasn't consistent. I didn't really, think that YouTube was like a thing. And then I started doing the live commentary stuff. I'm like, all right, I want to build on this more. This is my calling right here. So then I was luckily able to get to the day shift during the week, which is where I've been the last 2 years. It was 60% when I checked at 9 o'clock on my first break at work this morning. So if it's 80% now, that just, it's probably changed. This was off the Weather Channel app that I have on my phone also. Oof. I guess depending on what kind of rain they have, they could use the rain tires. If it's light enough. I didn't even really think about that. I forgot that was a thing on ovals. I'm still trying to get used to it. Had all those years of my upbringing that was never even a thought. I'm sure people thought about it, but it was more of a dream that wasn't foreseeable. Our friends at ESPN. Considering ESPN doesn't have NASCAR anymore or pays attention to motorsports in any facet, Well, I guess they kind of do with Formula One. I don't think they're keeping that package. I clearly don't watch Formula One, but I don't think they're staying on ESPN. I don't know when their TV contract comes to an end, but I thought I remember seeing that a couple weeks ago. Or hearing about it at the very least. I don't know if it was a rumor that they were going to pick up the new contract, or if it was finalized that that was the case. For U.S. broadcasting, obviously, because they don't broadcast on ESPN worldwide. Just remember, we do have about 8 to 9 laps more fuel in our car than everybody else. So we were the only ones on pit road, and then we got to the lead with a glitch on that said pit stop. So although we drove away a little bit, we also have fresh tires. Although by this point in the run, with as many laps as we've ran, the tires have definitely evened out by now. And our lead's actually shrunk quite a bit too. We only got about a 1.5 second lead before. It was as many as 2.5, nearly 3 seconds. Yep, Scooble opening day. I mean, that was a given. Defending Cy Young winner. Tarek Scooble. Yeah, this car's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter the longer the run goes. I'm definitely going to take another half round of wedge out of it. I might make an air pressure adjustment also. Really trying to back the corners up as much as I can to go slower, but then that interval keeps coming down because I'm going too slow, but there's really nothing else I can do. At least to keep me from hitting the wall every couple laps. Doing what we can to manage the gap. Almost 100 laps in. Definitely not going to want to be the first car to pit road. I can tell you that much. That's why having the excess fuel in it's great, because they might wreck coming into the pits, leaving the pits. Not be surprised if we see a caution for it. We only had one driver blow an engine this whole race. It was quite a few laps ago now. We passed him when he was on the front stretch, so he didn't really stack us up at all. Saw that one dude flipping in practice right as we were starting the live stream. That was in turn 3. I'd assume that was a lap car that blew an engine that was getting ran into from behind by another car. Only way I could see a flip at this racetrack. Speeds are so slow. It was tight with quite a bit of clean air. We're about to get into more lap traffic like we had earlier. Struggling with the car so much, I kind of forgot about the fact that I wasn't really even around anybody. So this definitely might make it worse. Slower speed racetrack, it's probably not going to be quite as bad versus if it was 1.5 miles and it was shoving like this. And we're getting into more heavy traffic. Lap 100, almost halfway. Last restarted at lap 20, so we've gone 80 laps since the last restart. By far the longest green flag run of the day. First two yellows were very early in the race. He owes us. He hit me. He just got rear-ended slightly going into turn 2, and my crew chief said that he owes us. That didn't make any sense. I don't owe him shit. The car might look like it's loose in the middle of the corner. That's just me turning so hard just to try to keep it from pushing up the racetrack. And then as the corner starts to flatten out a little bit, the closer I get to the exit, that's why it wiggles. It's definitely tight. Been rolling over on that right front hard this entire run, especially in the second half of it. I mean, it's just getting, again, worse and worse. Seems like every lap, progressively just... I notice that I'm lifting more and more in the corner, braking more, trying to get the car slowed down, but I'm definitely off the throttle more. Our fastest lap is a 17.755, and that last lap was almost a second slower. Tells you the tire fall off that we've had so far in just over 80 laps on these tires. Crazy thing is if we do go 125 laps on this stint, we're not even really close. Still got about another 40 laps to go. We might even see more fall off. David Reagan, who had that debris caution earlier, loses a lap off turn 3. 3 wide up in the tunnel turn. I'll call it the tunnel turn. It's technically not the tunnel turn because it's not Pocono, but makes me think we're at Pocono. As if Pocono was close to a city where the skyline is instead of out in the middle of nowhere like actual Pocono is. I don't think that's Chris Myers' brother. I don't think that they have any relation with each other. It's the local short track guy. He ran the Bowman Gray Stadium Clash earlier this year, or at least tried to. Failed to qualify through the LCQ, but he was there that weekend in a cup car, so curious to see what he can do. I mean, he's not going to be in the greatest equipment, so he'll probably end up doing around the same. But I don't think he's going to finish outside the top 35. And he might get up there in the top 30 at some point on speed, which is saying something because realize how deep the middle of the pack, because it's basically the top like 12 plus, maybe a little more than 12 competitive cars. And then those B tier teams, they pretty much fill up the rest of the field after the fact, at least in Cup. It's not like Truck and Xfinity where there's just a ton of back markers. The only time there's really back marker cars in Cup is when we have open entries at the racetrack. Open entries and Cody Ware is pretty much it. By Dale Jr. Trying to cram it under Kevin Harvick. Right front tire's in the red on the tire wear indicator. Already got into a quarter tank of gas left before that happened, so we can definitely make it to the end of the fuel run without having to worry about the right front tire blowing up. As long as I don't make too much more contact with the right front specifically. I've settled down on contact since the very beginning. I haven't hit the wall in a really long time. Definitely been better about that. I was relying on the spotter there. He said car low before I realized he was actually there. That was the one time that the spotter actually came in handy on this game. I feel like usually it's like I can kind of see it for myself. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning in. Leaving schedule open about streaming. Oh, I was just talking about the Cup Series race we have next on NASCAR 08. So we've got the Coke 600. I'm going to be working a lot of overtime still. I pretty much have been. I didn't work any last weekend, but the 3 weekends before that I was picking up shifts. But I'm going to be cramming it in even on like Mondays when I've been leaving that day off for myself. Outside of the streaming, work Sunday mornings before the race and stuff. Prepping for Dega and Texas on the back-to-back. Make sure it's going to happen. It will, like I said, it will happen. The big thing is making sure I have enough food that's going to last me that long. I know where I'm staying after I leave Dega. I'll be staying with some people in Houston area before hitting the Texas Motor Speedway race on the way back. So I'll be there for a few days, but I don't want them to I'm going to have snacks with me. I'm not going to rely on them for my food source for 4 full days. I eat a lot of food, especially with working out and stuff. Like I'm in the process of bulking, so I'm having to eat quite a bit. I need to eat my own food. Eating all times of the day. Oh, I'm definitely working Saturday. Yeah, I'm working Friday, Saturday for sure. Saturday is only going to be till noon. Friday might be a full day. So I don't have to stream the truck race till 7:30. So the big thing when I'm working in the mornings, I'm either taking my laptop to work so I can, on my 20-minute break, try to get a head start. Night before, trying to get all my notes for the live commentary streams for the following day. Caution's out right at the midway point in the race. We're going to have to pit here. Debris on the racetrack. I could see it off turn 2, and it's from Paul Menard, apparently. This is our third caution, second for debris. And that will end our green flag run at 107 laps. Well, everybody coming onto pit road. I'm curious to see where we cycle. I believe Menard was still in the top 5. Even though I have more fuel in it, we definitely have to pit here. We're past halfway. I would like to think the window should be open. Going to take another half a round of wedge out of the car. We're going to blip the air pressure up 1 pound all the way around. Really try to free this bad boy up a little bit more to help it for the long run. So we gave up time. We had almost a 3-second lead, and it got cut down to about as close as 1.3 seconds before we started getting through the lap traffic a little bit better than second place and space that gap out. We both had clean air for that long bit where there was no lap traffic for us. That's where they were catching us on the back burner of the run because I'd used up my tires. It seemed like everybody else was on pit road at the same time, and we did win the race out of the pits. So we will be the leader. And all the lap cars on the inside is going to make for an interesting restart. Green flag back in the air. Lap 131, 120 to go. Taking my time getting through the first turn on the outside, and it was enough to hang on for the lead. With the lap cars down to the bottom of the track, racing through quickly. 3 of them getting their lap back initially there, and we'll try to catch them. It's the first time we're going to restart at even tires with everybody behind us, too. We had fresh tires earlier. But we did make adjustments. Again, a half a round of wedge out of the car, pound of air pressure all the way around, trying to free it up. The air pressure is going to free it up more early in the run. And the wedge, I'm just hoping it's enough that's going to help it on the long run. We just ran our fastest lap, so that's good. 17.738. That's already better than what we ran early in the run with clean air. Around lap 20 or so. Oh, that was even better. 17.556. Just over a tenth quicker. I'm able to go full throttle through turn 2 now. Was not able to do that earlier. At least early in the run, my car starts to shove later. Might not be the case. 17.441. What a lap. Ah, I scraped it. I think I was a little too wide out of turn 1. That's what hurt me there. Well, I mean, picked up, what, 4 tenths? I'll take that. On the short side. These 3 lappers got way out ahead of us. Ah. Pulled an Austin Hill. I didn't crash into the outside wall, though. Speaking of crashing into the outside wall, I had some smoke off of turn 1 towards the outside. Not for me. There were definitely cars that I was passing lap traffic that had damage. One of them, actually, on the restart, Kevin Harvick looked like he had a decent amount of damage in front of us. I don't think we've seen the last yellow today for debris. We're only going to get more and more damage the further along we get with cars. It's just such a tight racetrack. It's bound to happen. Trex gets by Harvick. Slides the tires into turn 1 just a bit, trying to do everything we could to keep it off of him. So get a decent drive off. There we go. No lap traffic in front of us for quite some time now. Well, I think that was the hood of the 21 that just came off behind us. Yep. I saw it flapping on the restart. Surprised it lasted that long. I mean, he held on to that hood for 11 laps. Restarted lap 130. Caution number 4. Third debris yellow of the day. Right after we put those guys a lap down again. I just got to be careful on the restarts, just like I did the last time. It's okay to let the lap cars through. Luckily, all the lead lap cars were still in the rear view as they were also stuck on the outside. If I could time it out like that again, I'll continue to do that. I don't care if we're letting guys get back on the lead lap. I just don't want to lose the lead. Yeah, I did see Kirk wasn't in the booth this year. I'm surprised he was in there as long as he was. I know he hasn't been doing as many games the last couple years, but it is hard. It was getting hard to listen to him a couple of times. You can definitely tell his health's declining pretty quickly. It's not his fault, obviously. It just is what it is. I'm sure he probably doesn't want to step down either, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately. Tell you what, Harvick's debris caution could bail him out if we end up staying green long enough for him to get another quick yellow. He's able to unlap himself again. His debris came off right after we unlapped him the first time. Could have really bailed him out if the debris caution came out before we lapped him. After he got it back. Truex under Harvick. 100 laps to go this time by. And Truex will clear the 21. There it is, 100 to go. Gonna have to pause it for a quick second to get my laptop on the charger. Just got the low battery signal. I realized I didn't have it plugged in, and then I looked over on my bed, and the charger's sitting to my left on my bed. I brought it with me. Just didn't plug it in before the stream. Maybe that's why I hit my knee on the desk. That was supposed to be a sign that I wasn't supposed to sit yet. Be able to get to the end of the race before I lose the stream, essentially. Definitely made the right adjustments to the car, but we still have yet to see what it's going to be like even another 70 laps from now with 20 to go. Is it going to be anywhere close to as tight as it was? Plus, I'm going to have to go the longer the amount of laps because I went 107 on those tires the first time. Even with the caution laps we ran, it's going to be a little bit more than that. It's probably going to be just over 110. I guess it's not going to be all that many more laps, but a few more. When we drove turn 1, I thought I was going to get back into the wall again. I was on the brakes pretty late in the corner. I was doing whatever I could to try to keep it from sliding up on me. There we go. That was a lot better that time. That was getting pretty close to the wall, too, because I clipped the apron with the left sides, but I kept it just off the wall. Same thing in turn 3. It's going to be a great lap. Well, 0.6 off the fastest lap of the race. We have a lot of tire fall off here, so it was a quick lap for what it was. Still pulled away a couple tenths. See, my fall off might be greater too because I was faster in the short run than what I was last time. I was running 17.8s earlier. After the adjustment, 17.4s. So if I fall off a second and a half, it's going to be right back to where it was. It's just more time lost from what I had with that burst to short run speed. Because we're still putting time. I mean, we got almost 2 seconds. Well, not anymore. 5th caution. Good time for me to get my laptop on a charger. See, I didn't even have to charge it. Pause it. Excuse me. I have to charge it. 2nd, Paul Menard debris yellow. I don't know what it was this time. Is it his hood? I'm gonna assume it was his hood. I'll tell you what, if I knew we were gonna have that glitch, if I knew we would get the glitch where we'd come out in the lead again after we pit, I would probably do it. Oh, I grabbed the wrong controller. Oh, that was close. That was close. Not a good idea. I have both my PS2 controllers sitting right next to me. I grabbed the one that wasn't plugged in at first. That would have been hilarious. Oh, why am I not going? Oh boy, 3 wide. I didn't give a lot of room there. But we made it. It's getting freight train stuck on the outside. Cannot get back down to the bottom. The lap cars got through, which was the plan. A few lead lap cars got through as well. Noah Howe took the lead, and now it looks like the 17 of Matt Kenseth. No, that's Danny O'Quinn Jr., the other 17 car, who's now out in front of the field for the first time today. Only the 4th different leader, Howe the 3rd different leader just before that, and then it was all Paul Menard and mainly Mark Truex Jr. Menard started on the pole, so he led quite a few laps early. He's had a couple debris cautions, but he's back in 3rd. And after a couple laps of Danny O'Quinn Jr. leading, we're back out in front again. So that didn't take long to get back to the lead. Few laps. Menard slingshots into 2nd as he just sends it into the corner. Now he overdrives turn 3 after sending it through turn 2, and Danny O'Quinn might get back by him. The walls kind of make it feel like North Wilkesboro. I can see why you say that. The walls look like old Wilkesboro, the way it's striped. All the trees in the desolate area kind of give me that feel too. Then you see the city skyline, and then it kind of right there off turn 3, and you're like, never mind, this isn't Wilkesboro. Hurry, man. Yeah, I saw your comment. You're talking about the John Keating one. I see them all. Well, I shouldn't say that because sometimes I do miss them. Usually if I miss them, though, it's because there's a lot more people in the comment section, like on the weekends, but... I saw it. I'm just trying to focus. $73 to go. 72 this time by. I didn't realize the other 17 car, Matt Kenseth's up in the top 5 too. You know how, after leading the lap, must have got Freight Train when he lost the lead because now he's back to 6th. Oh. Thought I was going to be able to catch it from hitting the wall, but didn't get on the binders in time. Got to the inside of Clint Boyer, but he is not giving us a lot of room to make that corner, so we're just going to back out of it there. Let him go and try to get back around him another lap. There we go. He gave us more room up off turn 3 this time. We've got a nose out in front of him into turn 1. A lot better passing probability. Eventually. And clear off turn 2. We got tight running in line right behind us. Watch your mullet going before the wedding next summer. That's a tough decision right there. I mean, if you think it looks good, just go with it. I feel like that's all that matters. I mean, if it looks bad, then just touch it up a little before you go. And I wish I still had my hair. That's a different circumstance we're in now. Oh boy. Jamie McMurray slow. Dale Jr. right behind him. There's another car there too, and they're definitely stacking up through turn 1. Murray trying to get to pit road after blowing the motor. Depending on how much of a stack up we had there, they're getting all over the place up off turn 2. Definitely backed the rear end of the field up quite a bit because we've caught lap traffic out of seemingly nowhere. I did have a mullet. And now I don't. Yeah, male pattern baldness. That stinks. I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse than when you're combing your hair after you get out of the shower and there's way more hair in the comb than what there used to be. That's yeah, I was losing it pretty quick. There's a reason why I was wearing a hat a lot of the time on the channel. The very early days of the channel, I wasn't wearing a hat, but it started to go pretty quick. Somebody else blowing a motor again. I don't know if that was two separate cars or one just keeping their distance from the other. Oh, whoa! Big wreck! I think we had a speed glitch there when Pablo Montoya just drilled us up into the wall. Oh my gosh, just got right rear hooked into turn one. He sailed it off into the corner. This car's destroyed. He didn't even lift. We had the onboard camera there. You could hear him in the throttle the entire time. He literally did not lift. That thing was redlining into turn one, and he wasn't even on the brakes. Looked like he had it out for me. Wow. 6.2 seconds of damage to try to repair here, and it's not even going to repair at all either. See, you don't have to say it. That's okay. Well, I don't know how many, about half the field on the lead lap right now. But with all the lap cars on the inside, we're going to have to pass nearly everybody. Still on equal tires, got to stack up on the restart. I was waiting for it to get to the outside like we did right there, and that picked up quite a few spots, up to 11. Problem is I couldn't get down to the bottom, and I ended up giving some spots right back up again. Okay, I still gained some. I got to 11th, and then I fell back to 14th. Settle in here. We got 53 laps to try to make this time back up again. That was our 6th caution of the race. Might not be done with the yellows. And Danny O'Quinn Jr. has found himself in the lead all of a sudden after one Pablo Montoya dumped Martin Truex Jr. If we did get another quick caution, I would probably end up hitting for tires. I got 2 sets left. I didn't pit for tires that time, being involved in the crash. Per my rule. It's definitely the best restart I could have had, considering where I was. Casey Kane up here, his hood's probably going to blow off before the finish. We got 50 to go this time by. There's no way that thing's holding on that long. It's got quite a bit of damage. This 4 car's 41, excuse me. I could read. 41's got quite a bit of damage too. Reed Sorensen. So that's at least 2 cars. I might not pit anymore. I mean, about halfway through the cars of which that are on the lead lap. Plenty of time, get back to the lead. Last thing we need to do is force the issue and get in a wreck again and send ourselves right back where we were. Oh, the wrecking. Turn 2. I saw that out of the rear view. I heard it, and then I saw it. I was like, what's that? Look up, and they're wrecking. Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, Marcus Ambrose. That looks similar to how I crashed early in the race. Only I spun off his front bumper. Luckily, I kind of overcorrected and hooked a left instead of just going straight into the wall. It didn't look like he clipped the apron like I did earlier, though, but still somewhat similar. It's going to put more lap cars in front of us, unfortunately, but lead lap cars stacked up yet again. How quickly can we get to the bottom? Green flag is back in the air. Oh, stacking up. That didn't help. I didn't think they were going to do that this close to the front of the field like they did at the rear. Stuck on the outside now. Ran right in the back of John Wood. I lost a little bit of time there. Try to get it back. "42 laps. Back to where we restarted at 8th, and we have a new leader for the first time today, Mike Wallace, and the 7 cars out in front. Oh, man, are we 4 wide? We might have been for a brief second. We're still 3 wide. Into turn 1, just trying to not make contact like we did there with Hornish. Oh, this is not fun. Sailing it off into the corner. Wanted to make sure I was going to try to clear him there. Up to 4th. Oh, I blew that corner. So Hamlin's a lap down. I was trying to figure out how he got in front of us after he wrecked behind us. Taking 3. Got by Kenseth for position. Hamlin the lapper, who's the first car lap down right now. And we've got Paul Menard, Mike Wallace just in front. I do like that Geico paint scheme that Mike Wallace has in this game, though. Haven't seen it much because we haven't really seen Mike Wallace at the front of the field much. But here he is. Craftsman Speedway. Look at him go. Got up to 3rd, trying to play a little bit of catch-up here. Trying to be more patient in the center of the corner before I roll back into the gas. Both right side tires in the yellow on our tire wear indicator. Definitely have more caution laps in the back half of the run, so I don't think the tires are going to be quite as bad compared to the first big run we had as far as the amount of laps plus the adjustments. Folded underneath Menard through turn 2. Got back underneath him into turn 3 and up to second. Half a second off the lead, 32 laps to go. Walls goes way wide into turn 3. Solid corner through turn 2 for Truex. Walls again, back-to-back times through turn 3. Leaves a lot of bottom open. This time Truex was close enough to try to make the pass. Turn 1, narrow. Turn 2, clear. And a block back down to the bottom. Truex leads. 29 laps to go at the line. Seven cautions in the race. Surprisingly, we had a green flag run of over 80 laps. Despite the fact we've had that many yellows in about 200. It is scary knowing that we did lose the lead on a restart once. We actually fell back to 4th. Now that we're out in front, just really hoping that this stays green for us. Hoping we don't get any more speed glitches either, which happened after we had passed somebody who blew a motor. So I don't think we're going to have it unless that happens. And it's weird too, because the first few times we just kind of passed the car, went on our merry way, didn't have a speed glitch. That last time we had a lap car that blew an engine, then we had the speed glitch. Having nearly as big of a lead also doesn't really help that this thing's getting tighter and tighter. I figured that this could be a possibility of happening again. We might get to lap traffic before the end of this race too. It's going to be close. That's going to make or break our race right there. Faintly see them getting into turn 1, turn 3. Oh, they're scraping to the wall off turn 2. Pushing hard. A little too hard. Let's get testy. 1 second lead. Big thing is keeping them far enough away from me that they're out of distance to try to use the bumper in the closing laps. So we've gotten bumped out of the way. A couple times we got wrecked by Montoya already, so it's not impossible that they're just going to sail it off into a corner trying to beat us that way. $15 laps to go. Quarter take a gas left. All the cautions pitting just past halfway with the lap 127 caution as well. We'll be good on fuel. Just tells you how far into the run we've gone though with the tires. We're creeping up on them. That was not a good corner there. Lost a couple tenths to Mike Wallace. It does feel like turn 1 is... Well, I don't know. Maybe turn 2 is my worst corner as I hit the wall out of turn 3. Car's just way too tight. Ten laps left. I definitely can't wrap around the bottom like I could earlier. I cannot get that car to get to that yellow line. The perfect moments were the times I was able to kind of either clip the yellow line or get the left slightly below it. 8 to go. Still kind of slightly closing in on the lap cars. I don't know if we're going to get to the lappers or not. It's very close. Mike Wallace is catching up, though. I just trying to back the corner up as much as I can, and then he just still shoves center off. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. This car is pushing way too much. It's falling off quick. It's like it was earlier. The problem is we didn't get out to a 3-second lead because we were back in traffic on the restart. That was me drifting, trying to keep it off the wall that time. Oh, Wallace overdrives turn 1. That might buy us a little bit of time, but I don't know how much. 5 laps to go this time by. It's like trying to drive a UPS box truck. Some smoke on the front stretch. That wasn't for me. Skirting the tires off of turn 1, just trying to turn it to keep it off the wall. Late lift in turn 2, kept it off the wall that time, and that might have allowed us to hang on to the lead. 4 to go. I can't get to the bottom. I'm just hoping that he doesn't. Blocked him in turn 2. Oh, Menard's going to get the second. Paul Menard without a hood might steal this thing. He's going to get the second, passing Mike Wallace. 3 to go. Our teammate, the pole sitter's there. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man, there's no way we're going to hold the outside. I think I had the grip to do that. Mike Wallace is there, too. Oh man, it's over. I can't get the car to turn. Now we're back to third. Beat Mike Wallace to the inside, get to second. Give us a chance. White flag. Back this thing way up. I can't get the drive off needed to get to him. Too tight, too tight. I tried to hold it in turn two. It just wasn't going to happen. Well, Paul Menard going to get the win from the pole without a hood. He brought out 2 of the 7 cautions. He had 2 of the debris yellows today. My tires were shot at the end of that race. It was like that earlier. That caution at the midway point definitely didn't help us either because we had to pit way earlier than I was expecting to, and I was hoping that we'd have a much shorter final run on tires, so that wasn't going to happen. Honestly, if Montoya didn't turn us, I think we would have been in a better spot because we had about a 2-second lead at that point. The damage probably didn't help either. That probably made us just as tight, if not more tight than I might have been earlier. Wow, 206 laps out of 250 led and finished second. In all honesty, I wouldn't have led that many laps without the glitch we had early in the race, and who knows if I would have even gotten the lead. So although the glitch helped me get track position early, couldn't keep it. Paul Menard ran top 5 all day. Only led 10 laps from the pole, but he gets the win. 1/10 of a second margin to victory. Hour 37 minutes, 13 seconds total time of the race. 7 cautions, 24 lead changes, 77.14 mile per hour average race speed. So Paul Menard's got the race win. Martin Truex Jr. second, 1-2 finish for DEI. Mike Wallace in third, led for 13 laps. Matt Kenseth led 1, finishing 4th. Sam Hornish Jr. led 1, finishing 5th. No laps led for JJ Alien 6th. Noah Howe 2 laps led in 7th. John Wood, 8th place finish after starting 4th. Danny O'Quinn Jr. finished 9th after starting 11th, led 13 laps. And Marcus Ambrose had a lap led and rounds out the top 10 in 10th. Only 19 cars finished on the lead lap. Our other teammate Dale Jr. finished 2 laps down in 36. He was stuck behind one of the cars that blew an engine. I think it might have been the McMurray engine failure. Jay Smith, Jamie McMurray, David Stremme, and C. Erickson are 4 DNFs tonight. Dropping a motor before the finish. Teammate wins, that's positive. Well, I guess if you want to look at it that way. Felt like a Bowman choke job. Jeez. I didn't think it was that bad. My car just was not handling the way it needed to there. We'll try to get him again at New Hampshire tomorrow. 200 laps. I'm not too upset about that. Because I didn't feel I lost the race. Like, I didn't feel I made a mistake. I mean, I was clearly making mistakes with how the car was driving, but that was so slow. Even when I was backing the corners up as much as I could to try to get to the bottom, I was just losing so much time. And 1 second lead was just not big enough for when it did start to fall off. Oh, we race at Nazareth again? Not in the next race. We race at New Hampshire next, but see on the schedule, we got Tiburon Raceway again, which we just ran there. Well, that might have been in the truck series, actually. But Nazareth, we did run the Busch race just a couple races ago. But that's going to wrap up tonight's stream. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Same start time, 6 p.m. Eastern, New Hampshire, 200 lapper. Looking for redemption. Following a second place finish to Paul Menard today. And I believe that is the 3rd win for Paul Menard this season. So I'm dominating in the wins category, but Paul Menard's got 3 wins now. And he kind of stole that away from Mike Wallace, too, because it looked like he was going to catch us for the longest time. Mike Wallace overdrove at one corner, and Paul Menard was there for the taking. Get hard for Menard in the chat. Oops. Clicked on something. All right. Yeah, 11 wins for me. 3 for Paul Menard. What a season for DEI. All righty. Have a good rest of your night, everybody. Enjoy your Tuesday evening, and I'll see you back better than ever for 6 p.m. start Wednesday night.